All righty. Hello there, everybody. Welcome back. Unit 2 of AP Psychology. Today, we're going to be going into everything we need to cover. Remember, focusing on that CD. So the questions come from the CD, or at least it's based on the content in it. But hopefully, you're all doing great. It was a lot of fun yesterday. We had a bunch of people on. I can see we already have a lot of people on right now. So let me know in the comments and stuff where you're from. We're going to get people into the Kahoot right away. And you might be wondering, hey, how are these people already in the Kahoot? So we already have people in. You can sign in right away. But they are in because of the Discord server. So if you're interested in joining, it's completely free. It's an awesome community. We have about 19,000, I think, students and teachers around the country that are in it. And I can actually quick show it. So I'll put the Kahoot code there. So if you are interested, this is the Discord channel and the Discord server. Every day we've had different FRQ questions posted, multiple choice questions. You can see commonly missed questions. You can get the explanations for all those questions. So it is an awesome community of students, of teachers. The whole point is just to review and prep for our AP exams here. So this is the psych one. This is the daily kind of review. Put it up here so you can see a bunch of different questions. We also have channels for all the different units. So you have people who are studying, asking questions. I'm gonna have to get off of this soon because otherwise people will spam some of the channels. So this is where people are getting the Kahoot earlier. So if you're interested, check it out. There's a link in the description. It's an awesome community. Yeah, can't speak highly enough of it. A lot of students there if you're looking for some study groups to study there. All right. While people are logging in, we are going to start in just a minute. Let me know where people from. Where do we got? We got people from Georgia. Trying to keep looking back and forth between all this stuff. So we got people from Georgia, New York, Maine, Alabama, Florida, Texas, New York, California, New Jersey, Wisconsin, Connecticut, Houston, Texas, Pennsylvania, Tennessee. Yes, awesome. So good. We got people from all over the place. We are going to start with our Kahoot now. So if you haven't gotten in yet, no worries. You'll be able to get in at any point during this Kahoot. So first question's coming up. We're going to get going right away with Unit 2. All right. And here we go. What does it mean if the heritability of eye color is 0.8? So we're talking about heritability here. What do we got? So one thing... Well, I'll just wait for people to answer. We'll see. So, got a bunch of people still saying where they're from. Ottawa, Florida. All right, majority of people got it. That is awesome. One thing to remember here when we're talking about heritability, remember we're looking at the population, not an individual. And sometimes students make that mistake or people mix that up. So heritability, we're talking about a population, not the individual. And again, remember, this is a mathematical measure. It's going to help us see how much variation there is in a population related to genes. So it kind of shows us how much of a trait is genetic, how much is from the environment. So that's something to remember with heritability. Just kind of going into that whole nature, nurture, that whole aspect of Unit 2. All right. Ooh, nice. Wonderful elephant in the lead. Cool. All right. We'll put so you guys can actually see what we got here. Yes. One thing too, some people are asking, what is the stuff based on? So again, we're basing everything off the CD. If you haven't looked at this document, there's a link to it in the description below. So Unit 2 is what we're going into today. It's about 8 to 10% of the exam. This is what College Board is going to base the test off of. So you want to make sure you're looking at this document. If there's a term that's listed here, if there is a concept that's listed, make sure you have an understanding of it. That is going to be important to understand because that is going to be on the test. We have a question here. I don't get the CD, how we read it. If it is confusing to you, I did try to simplify it a little bit. The CD, when we're looking at it, one of the things to focus on here is this learning target. So we can see here the different concepts that you want to understand. The examples are really the key details that you need to know. So topic 2.1 is Unit 2, topic 1. So if we keep going through, these are all the concepts that we have to understand for Unit 2. So we want to understand the endocrine system and how the effect of it on behavior, or the overview of the nervous system and the neuron. So the CED, again, it's great to see if there's certain words you don't understand, or models or theories or any individuals that you're unfamiliar with in here. Then you need to make sure that you go and review it, because that is what could be on that test. So make sure you've spent a little bit of time on that. All right, next question coming up. Here we go. Woo. Does College Board have a list of all the AP Psych terms? Great question. Excellent question. No. I mean, the CED, I guess, would be the best. If it's in that CED, make sure that you've kind of understood it. So one thing you could do for looking at vocab or terms, kind of scroll through that document a little bit and see, is there any terms that point out that you're like, I'm not really sure what that is? If you see some of those, then that would be something good to review. So there isn't just one perfect, like, these are the exact terms that could be on there, unfortunately. So that's kind of a bummer. But all right, majority of people got this. We'll go on to the next one. It is Charles Darwin. So good. Sweet. Smiling Camel takes the lead. All right, next question coming up. Got a couple of people who are asking about some of the other individuals. Remember, William Wundt is known as the father of psychology. He created that first laboratory. We also have Rascola, who's going to focus on conditioning and learning. We'll talk about that more in Unit 4. And then Skinner's going to focus with behaviorism, and he's most known for operant conditioning. So we'll, again, be talking about those other people later in the unit summary videos and topics. Cool. Majority of people got the master gland. Yes, we got it. Does anyone know what the pineal gland does? So let me know in the chat, and I'll pin it. So for some of these other glands, let's see if people remember. So the pineal gland, where would that be located? Maybe what's it going to help with? And I'll try to pin it. Let's see. Do we got? Okay. Sleep. It would have some things to do with sleep. Yep. Sleep. Definitely sleep. All right. And again, that one's going to be above the brain stem. So right in the middle of the brain there. What about the thyroid gland? Anyone with the thyroid gland? What do we got? A lot of people saying sleep, melatonin. Yep. Thyroid. Melatonin. There's always this like delay. So I'm seeing all the people now talking about pineal. Yeah, the thyroid gland, that's going to be your metabolism. So we got a bunch of people saying that. Metabolism. Excellent. Excellent. So metabolism. Yep. All right. And the last one, the adrenal gland. What's the adrenal gland? So that was our last option that we had. Trying to look back at the chat. Hopefully, again, this review right now, what we're practicing is remembering the different glands, the different vocab, different parts. There's a lot of concepts in this unit. All right, we've got a variety of people saying we got epinephrine, we got essentially non-epinephrine, we got adrenaline, fight or flight. Yes, flight or fight. Located above the kidneys. Cool. Bunch of people have different things there. Also to regulate salt levels, blood pressure, oxygen intake. All of those would connect. All right. Next question coming up. Here we go. Put this back so you guys can read it. Which hormone increases heart rate, respiration, and dilates the pupils? What do we got? Dun, 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 dun. All right. Got a variety of different ones here. Talking about hormones. And 0 seconds left. All right. And cool. Majority of people have got it. Some people are saying serotonin. Remember, serotonin impacts an individual's hunger, sleep, arousal, and mood. What was the second one? GABA. GABA, that'd be sleep, movement, kind of slowing down the nervous system. So those would be for those ones. All right. On to our next one. 5 out of 26. Here we go. How much of a percentage is this going to be on the AP test? So the question here, this unit is that 8 to 10% of AP Psych. So not necessarily the largest section there. Again, you can see all the percentages in the CED. So if you want, the link to the CED is in the description of this video. If you also go to my ultimate review packet too, I could probably quick show it even. If you do go, all right, majority of people got this one right. Awesome. If you do go to the ultimate review packet and you go to, quick, make it full screen so you can see. If you go to this 30-day review plan, I also try to take the CD and break it down for you guys. So this is a part of the free preview. So if you want, you can check it out. We'll see if my internet loads while streaming. But here's all the CD topics. And then I also took the learning objectives, the examples for you. You can highlight and underline which concepts maybe you know, which ones you don't know. You can also take kind of notes. So that way, when you're studying, now you can see exactly what you need to focus on. And I did this for each of the different units. So this is all part of the free preview too. So if you want, check it out. It's awesome. The link for this is also in the description. So you can see all the different links to the different topics. And here's the CD itself. So if you want to look at that as well. Plus you have all the other units and the summary videos and the topic stuff there. So if you're interested in that, feel free, check it out. It's an awesome resource. I'm a little biased, but yeah. All right. Cool. Majority of people did get this one. So we will show our leaderboard quick here. All right. And one thing to point here, when we're talking about afferent neurons and efferent neurons, remember afferent, A for approach. So it's going towards the brain, it's approaching the brain. Efferent is E for exit. It's going away from the brain. So you want to make sure you don't mix those up on the exam. It's an easy thing to mix up. So hopefully that kind of helps. A for going to the brain, it's approaching. E for exit, going away. Cool. Arrive in the brain. Yeah, that would also work. Yeah, arrive. That great way to think about it too. Afferent arrives, exit. Yep, perfect. E for exit. Yep, cool. Look at that. Can we say A for arrive? Of course, you can say however you would like to say. Whatever helps you remember it, that's all that you need to do. Focus on what works best for you. All right, next question coming up. What are the two divisions of the motor division of the PNS? What do we got? It's cool seeing all the people in the chat right now, like the different ways in which people are remembering things. Whatever you can do to help you remember these different terms, that is great. All righty. 1 second left. And perfect. We have got it. So when we're looking at this, the somatic and the autonomic, remember here, responsible for that voluntary and involuntary movements of the body. So the somatic nervous system is responsible for the voluntary, those control of the skeletal muscles, and the autonomic is going to be responsible for involuntary controls of muscles and glands. So those would be kind of the two there, and the differences between the two. You want to make sure you don't mix those up. So cool. Majority of people are getting it. Are the multiple choice questions? This is a good question. One downside of Kahoot, like the goal of this is to get things back in your mind, to kind of refresh yourself a little bit on it, see what you maybe are familiar with, what you're not. But the AP test is probably going to have a little bit more depth to some of those questions. Kahoot does limit me on how much I can actually type. So I'm limited there. I'm not able to have like big, long answers and things of that nature. But this is a great way to see, is there any vocab or concepts maybe that you're missing on? All right, let's go on to our next question here. What is the difference between the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system? What do we got? How long is the live? We will see. We are just going to go through all the questions. We have 26. We're only on 7 right now. So the goal is just to kind of continuously go through all the stuff there. What else we got? Hello. People are saying hello, hello, hello. Yes. All right. Majority of people got this. Awesome. Remember too, when we're looking at this, the parasympathetic is the rest and digest. So another teacher from a different school, I unfortunately don't remember where, but I love the analogy of the parasympathetic. It's like a parachute. It slows your body down. So student said this, the teacher, you can use it. Sympathetic is going to be our fight or flight. So remembering the difference between those two is important there. So hopefully that kind of helps with that. What else we got? Cool. Yeah. P for peace, S for stress. Yeah, that would work too. I like that one. That one's a good one. That one's good. Yeah, it's cool just, again, seeing everyone's different sayings and different things that they have for remembering things. And we do have a leaderboard change. Captain Lobster takes the lead. Way to go there. All right, here we go. Next question coming up. What part of the neuron is necessary to help the impulse quickly down the axon? What do we got here? Moving on to our neuron here. All righty. 6 seconds left. And And time is up. All right, majority of people got it. It seems like the dendrite is the second most popular answer. Remember with the synaptic, we'll just go over all of them just to make sure that everyone's understanding it. Remember the synaptic gap, that's going to be that space between the two different neurons. So it could also be known as the synaptic cleft. This is where neurotransmitters are going to be sent between the two different neurons. The other answer that we had was the dendrites, and that was second most picked answer. Remember those are going to be that extension of the cell body, and that's going to actually receive the chemical information from that adjacent neuron. So that's going to be actually what's receiving it. And then the soma, that is just going to be the cell body. That's what the nucleus is going to have. So those would be the different things that'll happen there. For the nodes of Ranvier, that's going to be the gaps in that myelin sheath. This is where the axon is exposed, which actually helps promote the continuing action potential. So that is kind of those gaps there. The myelin sheath is going to be that protector that kind of helps with it. All right. Let's go on to the new. All right. Next question coming up. We'll put it back up so everyone can see there. There's also some people in the chat about the myelin sheath. That could also increase how fast it is as well. I didn't have it as an option to try and stop that confusion between the two. So myelin sheath, though, yeah, there's that insulating layer, and it would increase how fast an action potential travels down. All right. Ooh, okay. We're a little bit more split on this one. So we have the efferent neurons and the sensory neurons are two common ones here. So again, we have if a needle pricks your finger, your hand quickly moves away. What neurons would we use to move the hand away? When we're looking at this, remember efferent is also known as our motor neurons. They're going to send information from the CNS to the PNS. Our sensory neurons, on the other hand, are going to be responsible for converting sensory information from the environment or our body into electrical signals, and then it can be interpreted by the CNS. So hopefully that helps out there. Yeah, the sensory neurons aren't going to be the ones that are actually moving your hand, but the sensory neurons are going to be responsible for converting that information and then into that electrical signal. But the efferent neurons, again, are going to be those motor ones. They're sending that information from that CNS to the PNS. So when we're talking about that moving, which neurons to move the hand, not to necessarily receive the prick. All righty. Yes, I am going to be doing this for all of the units. So tomorrow is going to be unit 3, then 4, then 5, then 6, then 7, then 8, then 9. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, here we go. Going on to our next one. Leaderboard has not changed much. All right, let's put the questions back up. Here we go. Next question up. When a neuron has more negative ions on the inside than the outside, and has a charge of around negative 70. What is happening? What is going on? The Kahoot will be available. So some people asking if they could use this Kahoot later on. You can use this Kahoot. It will be in the Ultimate Review packet. So if you want, I'll try to put it later on in there. All right. We have a lot of split on this one. So when we're looking at this, remember, action potential, when that's occurring, that's when the neuron is going to fire an electrical impulse down that axon. So that would be the action potential, which was that second? That was second. Most common. Depolarization, when that's occurring, remember, that's when we have that strong negative charge inside the cell. It has enough positive ions to enter so that the charge then changes from around the negative 70 to that negative 55. And that's what triggers the actual action potential. Resting potential, on the other hand, that is occurring when the neuron goes back to its resting kind of state. The channels open up, it lets more positive ions outside of the cell membrane, and that happens at that negative 70. And then the refractory period, for that one, that is going to be focusing on when this time period the cell actually cannot fire. It needs to wait until repolarization occurs. And then the cell goes back into a resting potential. So hopefully that helps for those different kind of options that were on the board there. This one is a little bit more tricky. All right, here we go. Ooh, got some changes in the leaderboard, but Captain Lobster still holding strong. Way to go there. You're cooking? Good. I hope you're cooking. Woo! Way to go. All right. The next one. After the neuron is fired and is unable to respond to another stimulus, what is happening? Let's see if people remember. or if they were paying attention when I just explained some of these, because I kind of just went over them. No big deal. Positive thoughts. Yes, positive thoughts. Awesome. Majority of people got it. So we did just talk about this one. Remember the refractory period. This is that time period. The cell can't fire. It actually needs to wait until repolarization occurs. Once it occurs, then the cell goes back to its resting potential. So, cool. Majority of people did get that one. All right. Next question. Kind of skipped the leaderboard there. Next question is up. When ion channels are opening up and the neuron is becoming more positive and reaches the threshold, what is happening? So we're on our neuron questions right now. What do we got? Dun, dun, dun. All right, 4 seconds left. And perfect. Majority of people got action potential is occurring. Remember, for repolarization, when we're looking at that, that is going to be a different kind of concept. When we're talking here, this channel's opening up, action potential, that's when the neuron's going to fire that electrical signal, that's going to actually happen. So that would be the difference. All right, next question coming up. Which neurotransmitters affect mood, arousal, sleep, and hunger? What do we got here? So we're looking at a neurotransmitter. Remember too, repolarization, that's that process that the neuron's going back to its resting potential. So channels will eventually open up and then more positive ions would come in. And yes, majority of people got serotonin is the correct answer. Cool. Majority of people got that. Remember, epinephrine is going to help with the body's response to those high emotional situations. Endorphins is going to be with pain control and pain tolerance. Serotonin, like it's talking about here, is going to be hunger, sleep, arousal. And then acetylcholine is going to be that muscle action, learning. It'll also help with memory as well. So neurotransmitter is definitely something that could be on the AP exam and could connect to a couple different units, actually. All right, which neurotransmitter affects muscle movement, learning, and memory? Again, we'll see who is paying attention since I kind of just said it. So we'll see. 7 seconds left. What do we got? Okay, got a bunch of people saying they're doing well on this one. Positive, got to think positive. Majority of people got it is acetylcholine. Again, endorphins. Remember, when we're looking at that, endorphins are going to help with pain control and that pain tolerance. So that seemed to be the most second picked answer, but majority of people did get it. So learning there would definitely be with acetylcholine and also muscle action, memory. All right, Expert Bunny in the lead. Captain Lobster fell off of the top there. All right, what type of neurotransmitter will cause hyperpolarization to occur? What do we got? You can kind of see the graph. I should have maybe put a white background on that. I'm just realizing that. I didn't realize that it was going to look exactly like that. That's okay, though. No big deal. All right, 2 seconds left. And all right, let's talk about this. So when we're looking at these, so kind of quick going through hyperpolarization, remember, is when that inside of the neuron becomes more negative. So it's actually moving farther away from that threshold or that intensity level needed for an action potential. Now, the excitatory is going to be increasing that likelihood that a neuron will actually fire in action potential. And that's happening through that depolarization process. The agonistic is going to be a drug. So that would be a drug that would actually increase the effectiveness of a neurotransmitter. So it would not necessarily be a type of neurotransmitter, but that'd be a drug that increased the effectiveness. But wow, that was a fail. Why can't I talk all of a sudden? Inhibitory? I don't know what is going on. All of a sudden I can't speak. The joys of a live review after you've been teaching all day. But anyways, this one's going to decrease the likelihood that a neuron's actually going to fire that action potential. And it'll lead to hyperpolarization. So this was going to lead to hyperpolarization. The last one, opioids, is going to be another example for an agonist substance. So you got to love live reviews and the fails. I don't know. Yeah. Now I'm reading the chat. Yep. Oh, hey, cool. You're in last place. Not cool, but it's okay because you can still come back. Don't worry about it. You've got this. Positive thinking. You can do this. Wow. Thank you very much for the super chat there. Also, really cool icon. So thank you. That's very kind. You didn't need to do that, but thank you very much. All right. Let's go on to the next one there. Oh, Captain Lobster taking back the lead. Way to go. Way to go. Moving up in the world. If you're looking for these Kahoots at a later time, you can find them in the ultimate review packet. So the one from yesterday's already up. I will post this as soon as I can, so you can also reuse this one if you would like as well. And we have 9 different Kahoots we're going to do, so I'll keep trying to post them as we go. So it's in that ultimate review packet, or also there's that psych test course if you're interested in FRQs for all the different units. It'll also be in there. I can add it to there as well. All right, cool. Majority of people did get this one. When we're looking at it, good. Remember, antagonist is going to decrease the effectiveness of a neurotransmitter, and agonist is going to increase. So make sure you can tell them apart because one's decreasing and one's increasing. So oftentimes you're going to see these together because they're going to try and see, do you really understand the concept? So understanding the difference is going to be important because you will see both these on the AP exam. And oftentimes they might be used as possible answers for the same question because College Board's trying to see, do you truly know the difference between them since these are kind of grouped together? And that can sometimes happen on multiple choice portions for pretty much all your AP classes. College Board knows which terms students often mix up and which ones aren't really connected. And so when multiple choice comes around, oftentimes you might see certain terms kind of get grouped together. They're trying to see, do you truly know what that term is? Or are you going to fall for that distractor or the kind of not trick, but the one that is like the most commonly mistaken? So make sure you've studied some of this vocab. That's going to be definitely important. All right, if a drug acts as a reuptake inhibitor for a neurotransmitter X, what will happen? What do we got? Oh, I'm really far behind on the chat now. Trying to catch up. Okay, I had a quick skip all the way up. I apologize if I missed things. I will definitely go back. I'm just trying to catch up on the chat there. All right, so we have some splits on this one. So one thing to remember when we're talking about this, reuptake is going to be when the sending neuron is going to reabsorb those extra neurotransmitters, and they're going to reabsorb it into the synaptic cleft or that presynaptic neuron. So that's important to kind of remember here when we're talking about that. Also, too, B, the reason why it's the right answer is because the drug's actually going to prevent the reuptake of neurotransmitter X, causing an increase then, because it's not going to be reuptake, it's not going to be taken back up, increase in the concentration of the neurotransmitter in that synaptic gap. So that's going to be why that one would actually work. And that's what's going to happen. So reuptake inhibitor, it's going to kind of prevent that. So we'll see a higher concentration then of that neurotransmitter in the synaptic gap because it's blocking, it's preventing it. So hopefully that kind of helps out. All righty. There we go. Kahoot will be at the same time tomorrow. That is correct. Same time tomorrow. All righty. Going on to our next question here. 18 of 26. An opioid that mimics the effect of endorphins on the body would be what? What would it be? All right, I'm back. I had to quick take a drink of water. All right, we got 3 seconds left on the clock. Here we go. Majority of people got it. Awesome. So when we're looking at this, remember, in agonist, that's going to increase the effectiveness. That antagonist is going to decrease. The inhibitory drug is going to block, and also to a reuptake inhibitor is going to block reuptake. So make sure kind of these terms kind of are making sense to you. Again, right now, if you're getting some questions wrong, I see people in the chat being like, oh, I'm not doing well. And other people saying they're doing great. If you're getting it wrong, no big deal at all. This is when you almost want to get it wrong because now you know what to study. That's why using summary videos or looking at that CED and taking practice tests is so helpful because the more you do that now, you can actually refocus your studying to focus on truly what you don't know. And we can turn our weaknesses then into strengths and you will rock that AP exam. So confidence, if it's not going well right now, that's okay. You've still got plenty of time. You're going to do great. I know it. All right, we're on to the brain. Which lobe of the brain processes visual stimuli? What do we got? Do the other full unit reviews or just so question here, I think you're talking for the review videos. If you're looking for the full summary review videos, I have the first part of the class on YouTube. The other part is in that ultimate review packet. So it's kind of a thank you for those who are helping support the channel there. They are able to see the other summary videos. And that ultimate review packet comes with summary videos, study guides, answer keys, practice quizzes, answer keys to the practice quizzes, and explanations for why they are the right answers. And there's also 2 full practice AP exams in there. So if you're interested, there's a link in the description below. If you're not, no big deal, not a problem at all. But that would be units 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They are all in the unit ultimate review packet. And they cover everything in those units, and they're aligned to that CED. If you're interested, there's a free preview too you can check out. So see if it's for you. If not, no big deal. Cool. Majority of people did get this. Remember the frontal lobe. So if we're looking at the different lobes, the frontal lobe of the brain is going to involve that higher level thinking, those motor functions. Parietal lobe is going to be one of the lobes of the brain that's going to be involved in processing sensory stimuli. And then the temporal lobe is going to process that auditory information. It'll also help with memory a little bit as well. So important to kind of have an idea of the different lobes of the brain and kind of what they do, and understand some of the functions there that definitely could be on the AP test. All right, let's see our leaderboard. Put it up on the screen. What do we got? Yes, that's a great way to remember it. Before we get to our next question, let's do this. All right, real talk. We're going to take a quick little pause in the break here. You can do this. You got to have confidence in yourself. First of all, it's just a test. I mean, worst case scenario, it doesn't go well. You know what? Life goes on. You have new classes next year, and it'll all be okay. But what's more important to focus on now is your potential. You've been working all year on this. You know a lot more than you actually think you do. Trust me, when you get to this test, you're going to do great. You're already here studying. That is a huge win. You have plenty of time left. You're going to do great. You got to have confidence in yourself. If eventually when you're studying, you feel like you're getting overwhelmed, take a break. Go play a game, play some Fortnite, go outside, then come back and restart. Focus on taking a practice test. Go then grade it. See what you got wrong. Don't get discouraged by it. Instead of focusing on those wrong answers as a negative, focus on it as a positive. Now you know exactly what to study. And so now you can take that. We'll focus on those. We'll take these weaknesses, learn them, improve on them. Now they're going to become your strengths. Take another test. Repeat this process. You're going to do great. And this goes for all of you. You are going to do great. I believe in you, and you can believe in yourselves. All right, we're going back. Let's do this. Woo! Gotta love it. AP Psych. Here we go. Question 2026. What structure connects the hemispheres of the brain? Self-efficacy. Yes. Let's go. The review tomorrow. My voice almost just cracked there. The review tomorrow will start 6 p.m. again. So every night it's going to be at 6 p.m. All right. Lock in. Yes. Lock in. Lock in. Here we go. All right. And it is the corpus callosum. Yes. Remember the cerebral cortex. That's going to be that, the thin layer of gray matter that's going to cover the entire brain. The callosum here is that's going to be those nerve fibers. They're connecting our 2 hemispheres. And it allows us to be able to talk and communicate with one another. The rectangular formation is going to be that structure of the brain that's going down. It's tunneling down the brain stem. It's kind of the main function of arousal, the wake windows, sleep cycles, all that. And the frontal lobe we talked about before is those higher level thinkings and those motor functions. So remember, again, the different parts of the brain. There's a lot. There's a lot in this part of the unit. It's overwhelming, but you can do it. You're going to do great. All right, let's go on to our next question. Grow a beard. I'll think about it, I do. I have a TikTok of a beard. If you see any of my TikToks, I haven't made any in a while. I should make some. I have a lot more human geo than psych. I really should make more psych ones, but yeah. I don't know. Yeah, maybe I need to get on TikTok more. All right. Which hemisphere is better at processing our language? It is the left. Remember, when we're talking about the right hemisphere, we're looking at spatial concepts, facial recognition, and discerning direction. So that's going to be more of the stuff of the right hemisphere. And the left, again, is going to be language and logic. So majority of people got the one. Awesome, awesome. All right, we're going to go into different imaging modes now. What do we got coming up? Next question. Which imaging mode measures brain waves? What do we got here? Got some brain waves. What are we looking at? Got people saying that one was easy. Good. I'm glad that was easy. That's awesome. That's awesome. Language and logic start with L. Left. Great way to remind. That's awesome. Perfect way to remember that. Yes. Gosh, you guys are fantastic. Gotta have confidence. I mean, you guys are fantastic. It's just cool seeing you guys in all the comments and stuff. You're doing great. All right. So when we're looking at these different modes, remember MRI, that's going to give us that picture of the brain by using that magnetic field. The PET scan there is going to involve that injection of actually a small like glucose into an individual, and it'll track the usage of that for specific regions of the brain. An EEG is great for actually sleep and seizures because we can kind of measure those brain waves. And then a CT would be a bunch of kind of advanced X-rays. So that generally the CT is going to be used for like brain damage, tumors, things of that nature. So hopefully that helps. All right, let's go. Next question coming up. 23 of 26. What type of drug would distort a person's perceptions and senses? So we're looking at some drugs here. Woo! Got people saying, I actually made it to this live stream and you're feeling confident. I am glad. That is great. Great to hear. All right, when we're looking at the different drugs, one, majority of people got this. Yes, it is hallucinogens, so that is important. I believe our next one is going to be a drug one as well, so I'm not going to explain all the others because we will get to that in the next question. Captain Lobster, hold it on strong. Very good, very good. Best way to practice FRQs. I would say the best way to practice FRQs is to take FRQs. If you want, I do have an FRQ course you could get. It's just got a ton of FRQs for each unit, but also a great way, and it's free. So definitely I would try it, is type in previously released FRQs for AP Psychology. You can see then the actual FRQs that students took. The first column of that chart is going to be like the FRQs. The second is going to be the answer keys. And then the third column, they'll actually have former students' responses, and they'll grade them and tell you how they did. So that is a fantastic way to take FRQs. Go through and take previous FRQs on the exam, then grade yourself on it. And when you're looking at that rubric, if you get it wrong, who cares? The important thing now is you're starting to see how are they wording the FRQs, those task verbs, and also the answers that they're looking for. And the more and more of those you do, the better you'll get at seeing patterns, because you'll notice they kind of ask things in very similar manners. Now, there's different questions, obviously, on every exam, but there's kind of some themes you can kind of see. So it helps. The more you practice with it, the easier it is to be able to do. All right, the majority of people got that one as well. So real quick, remember, a stimulant is going to be those drugs that excite and promote neural activity. So depressant is going to do the opposite. We're talking about reduced here. That's why it's a depressant. And an opioid then is addictive in nature. It does kind of function as a depressant. So for example, here of a morphine, heroin, oxycodone, those would be examples of opioids. But these are normally given for pain relief. All right, let's go to our next question. Any changes on the leaderboard? Not really. We got our leaderboard holding pretty strong. We're on question 25 of 26. Here we go. What was the... Oh, some people are asking about Fortnite. Fortnite's a great game. Well, I've been playing a little bit more Call of Duty, although not recently, because all I'm doing now is just live streaming and going to school. All of the prep now for everything there. Some people asking about AP Human Geo. That will be a little bit later, so this is Psych. All right, cool. Majority of people got this one as well. So remember, with the activation, we're talking about specific areas activated depending on which area of the brain is active in your dreams. They have essentially different content than when we're connecting there. The cognitive development is saying dreams are reflecting more of our cognitive development. So when you get older, your dreams become more complex. When you're a child, they're more simple. And the physiological function there is going to look at dreams are stimulating actually parts of our neural pathways. And that would actually allow our neural pathways to be preserved and grow. So hopefully that helps for those other ones there. Oh, we do got the legend boa. Oh, I almost kicked you. I apologize. That'd be terrible if I accidentally kicked you right when you finally got on the leaderboard. All right, here we go. Last question. Which stage of sleep is the deepest level of sleep where delta waves are produced? Practice MC stuff. I would definitely do the practice stuff on College Board. So hopefully those progress checks you can take on College Board on the classroom there. Fantastic for getting practice there. If you do have the ultimate review packet, I do have practice questions in that ultimate review packet as well. The quiz for Unit 2 has a bunch on the different concepts. I think there's over like 300 multiple choice questions in the AP Psych ultimate review packet, all with answer keys. But definitely check out College Board. It's a great spot. There's also a lot of review books and other things as well. Or you can check out the Discord server. That's completely free. You can go into my Discord server. There's a link in the description. And we have students, about 19,000 people are on the server, and they post daily review questions with the answers. So it's a great community to study. There's a bunch of psych channels, one for each unit, and also resources as well. So kind of a cool place. All right, let's quick look at this one. Stage 2. This is going to be that transitional stage, normally 10, 20 minutes. So this is where we're going to have those K complexes, sleep spindles. Stage 3 is that deepest level. And this is normally only going to last around 30 minutes. Here, you're going to see the growth hormones are going to be actually produced. Individuals may experience sleepwalking or sleep talking. And then REM is going to be when those external muscles are actually paralyzed. Our internal muscles and structures become really, really active. It only lasts for about 10 minutes, which I still think is just kind of crazy. The body is so fascinating of what it does. So our external muscles are going to become paralyzed there because it's trying to protect you, since your internal muscles and your structures are so active. And here's where you're going to experience dreams. Brain activity is actually pretty similar to when you're awake. So hopefully that helps for all of those. All right, let's look at our final ones. Who's on our top leaderboard? What do we got? You threw a 30 rank. The brain never sleeps. That's true. That's kind of scary. All righty. Captain Lobster, Fuzzy Impala, and runners up. I'm sorry. Okay. The Lucky Bison. Way to go. Hey, good job. Got a variety of people saying this to me. I don't know if you're lying or not. If you are, I guess you did. You got away with it. I have no idea. Cool. All right. I have, in less than 15 minutes, I have to now do AP Human Geography. But hopefully this kind of helped out. I will post this right now. So if you wanted to actually use this Kahoot, it'll be in the Ultimate Review Pack in that test course as well. But if you're looking for more practice, again, check out that Discord server. It's an awesome place. I can quick show it. So these are all the psychs. A lot of people are asking about review questions and stuff. All of these are review questions that you could use. We have fantastic students who really just enjoy helping other students out and studying. So you can see study tips, discussions here. All of these Z-scores are talking about standard deviation. This is all for Unit 1. So we just did Unit 2. So here we can see people talking about pneumatics and different things they can do to help remember things. So cool place to check out if you're interested. The link is in the description below. As always, you guys, you are phenomenal. Thank you for tuning in today. Good luck. Remember to keep those positive thoughts. You have got this. Tomorrow we'll be reviewing Unit 3 as we talk all things psych, 6 p.m. Central Time. So thank you so much for watching. I'm Mr. Sinn. And until next time, I will see you online. Mr. Sinn is out.